Real Virginia is produced by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Farming, it's all good. Visit our website at vafarmbureau.org.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay, Atlantic to Appalachia, home in my heart always.
Hello everyone and welcome to Real Virginia, a show about Virginia agriculture and the people who produce all of the wonderful products we enjoy.
Virginia farmers are asking for help as coyotes continue their deadly diet of lambs and calves. Where will your tomato transplant come from next spring? There's a good chance it started right here in Virginia. And sales of full-size farm tractors are expected to drop this year, but compact tractors remain popular.
Welcome back everyone. We're here at Mangum Manor, which is a wool and mohair farm in Albemarle County. And this farm, along with other farms across the state, are having problems with coyote kills with their livestock. Now, there are coyote control programs available, but those programs are at risk for losing their funding.
The Virginia Cooperative Coyote Damage Control Program works to help farmers resolve coyote predation problems. This includes people like Michelle Mangum, a sheep producer in Albemarle County who has lost thousands of dollars from coyote kills. She's been raising sheep since the 80s, but said coyotes have gotten progressively worse over the last decade.
Within 5 years of being here, we started getting a coyote kill. And everybody denied it. They said, no, there's no coyotes. I said, I'm from Nevada. I know a coyote when I see one, and this is a coyote kill. It was once a month maybe, once every 2 months. And now it's weekly. If you don't have guardians out there, you will get it.
They use guard animals to help curb the coyote kills on the property, but many times that just isn't enough.
It makes them feel threatened, and it makes them feel too nervous to enter the area that, golly, that donkey is coming at me with its ears down, and that guardian dog is barking at me. Ooh, this is his territory. And the llama just looks so strange and threatening like that. They'll go off and they'll try to find another field with yearlings in it, or the ram field where there's no protection. They really case out the fields.
Farmers across the state have been reporting problems just like this, making the Coyote Damage Control Program essential to the agriculture industry. For 15 years, the Virginia Department of Game and Inland Fisheries has recorded a higher number of coyotes harvested each year. For example, the coyote harvest increased 20-fold from 1,295 in the 1993-94 hunting season to 24,449 in the 2008-2009 hunting season. Recognizing there is a coyote population boom, the Virginia General Assembly expanded the control program in 2012 to reach more counties in the eastern part of the state. While state dollars help pay for the program, it's actually run by the U.S. Department of Agriculture's Wildlife Services Division. Last year, it provided direct control services to 195 livestock operations in 53 Virginia counties. During that time, 285 sheep, 81 calves, and 32 goats were verified as killed by coyotes. That's a 39% increase in sheep losses and a 69% increase in calf losses from the year before.
Livestock protection is a common activity, especially in the western United States. But Virginia is unique in that there are very few eastern states that actually have a formal program for protecting livestock from predators such as coyotes. We see conflicts with coyotes throughout the state in every conceivable situation. We have coyotes on airports in urban areas. We have them in neighborhoods in suburban areas. We have them on our farms and in our fields. And so in order to maintain the expertise for managing coyotes, which is a tremendous resource for many groups across the state, this program has provided that benefit of developing and maintaining this type of predator management expertise in Virginia.
The Virginia Farm Bureau is urging legislators to support a $190,000 budget amendment to the 2015 General Assembly to restore the Commonwealth's portion of the state and federal program to help Virginia's livestock producers. The coyote problem is only getting worse. Last year, 76 new farm operations asked for help from the program. Farmers in 26 new counties were among those seeking assistance.
For decades, the number of sheep and lambs has been dropping in Virginia, but the last Census of Agriculture found a small increase in the number of sheep farmers and animals. There are approximately 2,300 sheep operations in the Old Dominion, with just under 85,000 head of sheep and lambs. That's a couple hundred more farms than 5 years ago. However, wool production dropped in the same period. Just under 200,000 pounds of wool were sheared from Virginia sheep, compared to more than 232,000 pounds in the last census. While some operations have hundreds, the majority of Virginia sheep farmers have less than 25 animals in their flock.
Springtime's just around the corner, and you're thinking about transplants. Today we're going to show you where those transplants might come from. Stay tuned for From the Ground Up.
We're Vanderhyde Dairy Incorporated. Me and my parents and my two other brothers own the farm. We farm about 2,000 acres. We currently milk about 1,100 cows 3 times a day. Total animals on the farm are about 2,500. We do a lot of tours here, and we constantly try to educate as much as we can about what we do. I would like the consumer to know how much care goes into the production of each gallon of milk. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes to ensure the quality of that milk, to ensure that the animals are treated well. I'd rather do this than anything else. I don't even like going on vacation, because why go on vacation when you're already doing something you love? I'm Roy Vanderhyde, a first-generation dairy farmer from Virginia, and I'm dedicated to dairy, my cows, my milk, and my land.
Many of you will be getting started on your spring gardens here in a few months, and that includes using transplants. As Chris Mullins shows us, thousands of those transplants get started right here in Virginia from the ground up.
Well, hi and welcome. Today we're at Aaron's Creek Farms near Clarksville, Virginia, and we're at a large greenhouse operation. And what we want to talk a little bit about today or show you is how maybe some of your transplants are made. In the springtime, as you go to the garden center and buy your vegetable transplants, they might have originated at a place just like this. And we're so happy to be here today. We've got Eric Gordon and Greg Gordon, and they're hosting us, and we're so glad to be here. Greg, this is a family-run operation. How long have you been in business?
Since 1964. Our dad started it right out of college.
So you do things, I know you grow plugs and transplants. What are some of the other things that you grow?
Perennials and annuals, as well as commercial transplants for farmers as well as homeowners.
I know also you've got kind of a unique business. I know, Eric, you're involved with, you sell hobby greenhouses and parts and pieces for greenhouses for people that want to buy those?
Right, we sell direct to the end customer for backyard use and some light commercial. We have a lot of people that are trying to get into some of that.
I know we've done segments before on hobby greenhouses and how nice they are for the home gardener to be able to have a place where they can propagate things, where they can grow things throughout the wintertime even.
Sure. We found over the last several years that that market has really expanded, and there's some real nice structures out there now for them to choose from.
That's great. But one of the things I really want to see is how you start seeds and how you make these plugs, these transplants for people. So let's go see that now. All right, Greg, we're here at the beginning, or I guess this is the beginning. How do you get started every year?
Chris, this is our seed room, and our orders come to us from our customers, and they try to determine their orders based on what they think the homeowners are going to want to plant in their gardens for this coming season. Once the customers send us their orders, our computer system compiles them, and then they're sent to our seed room here, where we actually will put the seed in the trays and start the process.
Well, I see lots of seeds in this room. I also see these flats that are filled with soilless media. So you take the seeds and get them into these flats, obviously, somehow. And I see you've got some equipment here to do that.
We do. We have a vacuum seeder here that once this tray is fed in, it dibbles it and it sows row per cell or seed per cell, and then covers it when it goes out the end.
That's pretty nice. A pretty automated system. And then from there, it goes out to the greenhouse, is that right?
It does, and that's where we start our germination process, and then we will grow them until they're ready to be transplanted.
All right, Greg, well, we've got a nice flat of tomatoes here. You know, we seeded them down in the greenhouse and they've grown up. But you know, this is not something that most home gardeners are to buy at the garden center for their transplants. What do you do to get them from this point to maybe a cell pack that might have 36 or 48 small plants in it?
Okay, Chris, we actually will take this tray and which has 512 plugs in it, and what we're going to do is use our robotic transplanter here to step them up and space them into the bedding flat trays, which is what the homeowner will see when they buy them in the garden centers.
Let's see this thing operate then. That's pretty cool.
Chris, what we have here are 32 fingers that are going down into this plug tray, picking up an individual plant and then going back and spacing them out and planting them in the bedding flat trays like you would see or purchase in the garden centers. The empty tray, once it's finished, will process all the way through. It'll empty it and then it will go on. Now it's on the 4th row of planting, so now that it advances those trays because it's finished the transplanting process for those and brings in the new set of flats so that we can continue moving them from the plug tray to the bedding flats.
All right, Greg, this was transplant out there. I noticed you've added some tags to this. And you know, a lot of the times consumers see this and on the back it tells a lot of cultural information. So it's important for them to look at that?
That's correct. If you haven't grown the product before or if it's something new for you, it should be some guidelines on there that will really help you get a good start.
All right, so it goes in the greenhouse here. You got the right light, the right temperature, humidity, everything's right, and it grows. Just like those right there.
Mm-hmm. These are probably 3 to 4 weeks older than the crop that we just transplanted, and they will either go to a commercial grower who will grow them for you, or they will be grown for the homeowner, and then you can produce them yourself.
Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for letting us come out here and see what you do here in this greenhouse and how that these transplants are made for the consumer.
Thank you for coming.
Well, for more information about transplant production or what to do with your transplants in the garden, contact your local county extension office. For From the Ground Up, I'm Chris Mullins, and we'll see you next time.
Looking to make a great steak without having to take your food outside? We have tips from Carissa Jackson in the Heart of the Home coming up next.
Horses, dogs, food, and fun. It's all coming March 27th to the 29th at the Virginia Horse Festival at the Meadow. Experience 3 days of equestrian and family-friendly activities. Shop vendors selling trailers, boots, barns, and food. Watch the Central Virginia Agility Club show off their canines expertise. Attend clinics, demonstrations, and seminars. Cheer on the Extreme Mustang Makeover East Coast Finals. And don't miss the Parade of Breeds. Learn more at virginiahorsefestival.com. It's the Virginia Horse Festival at Meadow Event Park. Don't miss it. The cattle industry is one of the strongest elements of Virginia's farm economy. Cattle graze farmland all across the Old Dominion, from the mountains of western Virginia to former tobacco fields to pastures near the Chesapeake Bay. Cattle represent $1.6 billion in farm income each year, and Virginia is the 18th largest cattle state in the nation. One reason cattle are so popular is virtually any farmer can raise a small herd on a few acres. And they are the reason hay and forage grass are the state's top field crop. That industry is worth another $1.3 billion to Virginia farmers each year.
Want to cook a great steak without going outside in the winter? Miss America 2010 Carissa Jackson shows us how it's done in the Heart of the Home.
Hi, I'm Carissa Jackson for Heart of the Home, cooking at the kitchen at the Meadow Event Park. With Valentine's Day coming up, wanting to stay in, save some money, but still do a spectacular meal might be on your list of things to do. So today we're going to conquer steak and potatoes. A lot of my friends always tell me that they don't make steak at home because they're afraid that it's either going to come out too burnt or it's going to be too raw. So I'm going to teach you a way that you can make it at home, but it still be really good. But before we start, I'm going to teach you how to make a marinade that you can use to marinate your steak in for 8 to 24 hours, and the exact same marinade you're going to use for your potatoes. So we're going to start over here. We have 1/4 cup of oil. I use olive oil for this recipe. We have about 2 big tablespoons of minced garlic, ½ teaspoon of savory season, and a whole teaspoon of Cajun seasoning. We're gonna whisk together these ingredients. And as you can see here, I pre-marinated my steaks ahead of time, so I used about half of this sauce for the steak. This other half we're gonna use for our potatoes. I am using red potatoes cut into fourths, 1½ cups. We're gonna put half of our marinade into this bowl, a little bit of salt and pepper. And then you can shake it up, or you can stir them around, whichever way, but you just want to make sure that your potatoes are coated in the oil, the garlic, and the seasonings. Then you want to lay them flat on a nonstick pan. And we're going to go ahead and put these in our preheated oven that's preheated to 400 degrees for 30 minutes. Now we're back over here. A good practice for your steak is to go ahead and take it out of the refrigerator after it's marinated. You want to bring it to room temperature. Typically that takes about a ½ hour, so you want to take it out just ahead of time. And we are going to turn our eye onto medium high, and we'll put 1 pat of butter for each steak. Till we get the entire pan covered. This will prevent it from sticking. One of the great things about using a cast iron skillet for this recipe is it can go directly into the oven, which is the secret to making a perfect steak without making it too tough. You want to start by pan searing it. And as you can see, I have a couple of cloves of garlic left over from my minced garlic that I just like to leave on here. You can put some onions in if you like steak and onions together, but you want to do that towards the end of the steak searing in the pan. You're going to need to let it sear for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. All right, and now we're going to go ahead and turn them over, and you'll see there's a nice crispy crust on top from the seasonings. And we're gonna let it sear on this side for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we're gonna finish it off in our preheated oven that's been preheated to 400 degrees. Depending on how you like your steak, if you like it rare, then actually at the point that it's done seasoning or searing, you won't even need to put it in the oven. If you like it medium rare, you want to cook it on 400 for about 4 minutes. If you like it medium, for about 6 minutes. And if you like it well done, 8 to 9 minutes. All right, our steak and potatoes are all done. I let mine cook for about 10 minutes because I like my steak well done. Go ahead and plate it here. A little bit of our potatoes, and you can serve this with some fresh garden salad with a little oil and vinegar dressing. So here you have it, steak and potatoes for 2. I'm Caressa Jackson for Heart of the Home. Come and get it.
Recipes from the Heart of the Home can be found on the Virginia Farm Bureau website at vafarmbureau.org.
We all want healthy rivers and streams, but we can't do that without help from Virginia's landowners. Resource Management Plans, or RMPs, are part of a voluntary program that helps farmers get credit for cleaning up our waters. And once you have an RMP, you are exempt from any new water quality requirements for 9 years. The Virginia Department of Conservation and Recreation has funds available to help you implement these plans. Contact the department today to learn more. Thank you.
This message sponsored by Virginia's agriculture community.
people think of tractors as large, gigantic pieces of equipment, but they're not always that way. And as Dave Miller tells us, there are things known as compact tractors, which are a growing trend and an important part of the rural economy.
Joel Hudnall has been operating farm equipment since before he could drive a car. With a degree in landscape and turf management, he now owns a landscaping business in Kilmarnock, Virginia. He's taken the time to get the right equipment so he can do just about any job, from bush hogging to repairing driveways to building patios. One of his go-to machines is a compact tractor, one with about 60 horsepower and a smaller frame.
Well, I mean, it's a 48 horsepower 4320 compact tractor. I mean, really, the nicer the better, nicer equipment, the easier it is to get everything, done from time to time, and just a lot more efficient.
Many people think you have to have 100 acres of land or more to have a tractor. But the truth is, a lot of folks with 4 or 5 acres get a compact tractor and end up saying, how did I get by without it?
Well, we sell quite a bit of compact tractors, but there's a whole lot of different models of compact tractors out there. You've got compact tractors that start just a little bit bigger than a lawnmower and go up to what Joel has here, which is one of the larger compact tractors on the market. We knew that Joel was he cuts grass and he does some other work, but he does some hardscape work as well and some loader work and bush hog work. And so what we needed to do is we needed to match the tractor with what he was doing.
Hudnall says there are plenty of equipment options.
Well, back here we got the power rake that's hooked up right now, so I've been actually, it's this time of year, we've been doing driveway repairs, and that right there, it's worth the money for just the amount of work it does and everything that it does. I mean, it's just an awesome piece of equipment. I'd rather have that than the tractor, but the only problem is you got to have the tractor to operate it. So it's a 48 horsepower tractor. Up here, like I said, we got the bucket. We've got the hydraulic hoses here, so we can have for the 4-in-1 to operate, or a snow blade up here that has hydraulics on it as well.
There's about $3.3 billion of farm equipment in Virginia farm fields, including tractors and other heavy farm equipment. As you might expect, that means tractor sales are a significant part of the economy of many rural communities. Some machines are only worth about $1,000. Some could sell for as much as $1 million. LaForce says the overall farm economy in Virginia has been strong for 12 months, but expects lower grain prices this year. That will reduce demand for his larger farm equipment.
So ag sales in a whole over the last 12 months have been really good. Compact tractor sales were up 5.7% in 2014 over 2013.
With big farm equipment sales slowing and all the options available for small farm operators, cattle owners, and landscape contractors, it looks like compact tractors will be king of the hill for now. From Northumberland County, Virginia, this is Dave Miller reporting.
That's going to do it for this edition of Real Virginia. We are so glad you could join us to celebrate the bounty Virginia has to offer. Whether it's in your home, your garden, or your landscape, we're proud to say that this is Real Virginia. So for everyone from the Virginia Farm Bureau, thanks for watching. Make it a good week.
Home will always be Virginia, between the Blue Ridge and Chesapeake Bay.